chapter 12, verse 11 of Proverbs. He who works his land will have abundant food, but he who chases fantasies lacks judgment. So the first half, God has given you a vocation. Do your vocation. And your vocation, working land, it's hard work. It doesn't generally get you wealthy in a very quick way. Maybe over time it accumulates and becomes wealthy, but not in a quick kind of get-rich scheme. Though you work the land, you do those things which God has set as principles for growing your wealth, and through time, you have abundant food. You're able to eat. But if you're one who chases these get-rich-quick schemes, who's trying to find a shortcut, who's not following the principles God sets down and has set since time began, well, lacks judgment. Sometimes they work, most of the time they don't. Guess what? You play the lottery, you're going to lose more money than you gain. If you're investing in short companies that just appear overnight, most of them are going to collapse. If you will just rocket right up, interestingly enough, often when a person's wealth rockets right up, they continue to do risky behaviors and lose it all. And I've heard of people who've gone millionaire, bankrupt, millionaire, bankrupt, millionaire, bankrupt. They take these risks. Doesn't show good judgment. The risks are not worth the rewards. Okay? So we move to the next, 12. The wicked desire the plunder of evil men, but the root of the righteous flourishes. If you are jealous of a rap star who got there by singing about killing cops and raping women, that's wrong. Okay? They may have a lot of wealth, but they gained it in a way which was negative, right? Evil. And so the wicked look at that and say, I'd like to gain that sort of wealth, not looking at the source of the wealth. We mentioned Hugh Hefner. If you're seeking after the things you had, it's wrong. Okay, now you're wicked, because he gained it by pandering, by being an evil man who used young women and who used the sinful lust of the heart, right? And then lived a horrid lifestyle. So the wicked desire, this lavishness. But here's the opposite. But the root of the righteous flourishes. So the root of a Christian is Jesus. And the root of our actions are the love of Jesus. And it says here that if you keep seeking those things, then you will flourish. Then not only will your life grow, but other lives will grow from what you do. So there we go. 13. An evil man is trapped by his sinful talk, but a righteous man escapes trouble. I look at our present two presidential candidates, and not to say they're evil men, but they both have had talk which traps them into bad positions. And I think if they had better followed the principles, and I use that word a lot here, principles, right? If they had better followed the rules set up by God, if they had looked to follow the 8th commandment and not malign other people, if they had looked to the advice of their mothers, don't speak poor. If you cannot say something good, don't say anything at all. I suspect they would be in a lot less difficult situations answering questions from reporters and those who are seeking their downfall. So the same goes for all of us. When we violate the commandments, when we violate the 2nd and the 8th, the commandment not to use God's name improperly, the commandment not to speak ill of our neighbor, but to speak truth and to speak lovingly, we don't get stuck in these traps. We can just point to our words. We could say, look, I stand upon what I said. I meant it in a good way. It was said, maybe it wasn't said as well as it should be, but I meant it lovingly. and I'm going to stand on that. And so we escape often. If it were a truly fully just world without sin, we would always escape. And certainly in the next kingdom, we do escape from the trouble that lips otherwise get people in. 14. From the fruit of his lips a man is filled with good things, as surely as the work of his hands rewards him. So let's go to the second half. We talked about the fact that if you do what you're supposed to do in the field, your crop grows, and over time wealth accumulates, and you have enough food to eat, right? So the work of your hands rewards you. This is the principle. Well, then the principle Solomon extends it to is the fruit of your lips can do the same thing. So if I'm speaking righteous things and good things, it's going to have good consequences. Certainly as a pastor, this is obvious. The congregants, the members of my church learn about Jesus. It changes their lives and helps them to live in loving ways with their neighbors, which includes me, it includes my family. And so the consequences of speaking well to my church is that God uses my words to do, to accomplish his tasks, and I'm going to be rewarded in the here and now and in the hereafter when I get to have the family of my church and the family that they grow through their actions, all as part of my family forever. So I get rewarded now by having a loving congregation that does share well with me, and they have. And I get rewarded in the future, into eternity, because God's kingdom is huge, and I get this huge, wonderful, loving family. So life is filled with good things when you use your lips well, because your lips are what builds those associations with other people, those relationships with other people. The hands, they build up the things of the world so that you can live comfortably or can help people out when they're in need. The lips build up the relationships of the heart. It kind of stores away, when you do good things, the fruits of those relationships with other people. 15. The way of a fool seems right to him, but a wise man listens to advice. All right, Solomon's returning to this theme earlier when he was talking about a righteous man wants to be corrected. A fool doesn't. So when you're a fool, when you're someone who's looking to plans other than God, you in your hubris, your false pride, say, hey, I'm right. Everyone else is wrong, obviously, because I'm right. And I don't need their advice. I don't need their help. You experience this with sometimes with small children. I know how to do it. Let me help you tie your shoe. No, I know how to do it. Here, let me help you read that book. Oh, I know how to read. No, they don't. They need the help of someone older, but it's the natural, sinful man says, I am in control. I am my own God. I am the one who decides what's good and right. And so we're foolish. We don't want to have other advice, other people helping us out. But the wise man says, okay, they may know something I don't. The Lord has trained me, maybe through a course of a lifetime. I've gained a lot of good insight, but I haven't gained all insight. I'm certainly not God. I don't always know what's right. Let me hear what they say and ponder it against God's word and ponder it against my familiarity when it occurs in life and see if maybe this is a better way of doing things. Sometimes the new way is better. Or the ideas I have aren't the best. And so the wise man listens to the advice and then takes it, and analyzes it. And takes it if it's good. So we're going to stop there at 15 and do one more video for today.